let's talk about what is really holding you back from living a healthy lifestyle and maintaining that weight loss that you just can't seem to keep off. And I guarantee it's not what you think it is. Hi friends, and welcome to Simply Libby. I am Libby, and I am on a journey to health, and I talk about all things mental health, keto lifestyle, and I share literally everything that I am going through with you guys on this journey. So if any of that interests you, please stick around. But today I want to share with you something that I have found out over the last 6 months that has held me back over the last 30 years. So we're just going to jump right into it. The thing that's holding you back from reaching your health goals, keeping the weight off, and living your truest life is unhealed trauma. That's not something that I ever thought would affect my eating habits and my healthy lifestyle. However, it is one of the things that has affected it the absolute most. And again, this is totally just my experience. I am not a licensed professional and I am not a therapist. I am just sharing with you what has held me back, and I think it is holding a lot of other people back as well. Last year, my mental health was in the absolute garbage. It was trash. And my physical health was great. I had lost 40 pounds. So on the outside, it looked like I was doing really well. However, my mental health was just like tanking. And I knew that I needed to do something because my physical health was great, but my mental health wasn't. So something was going to give somewhere, right? So I started to go to therapy. In therapy, I talked about things that I have never spoken about out loud ever. And it was first off very triggering, but it was also very healing. Now, the one thing that I learned is that basically every single thing that I do that has me falling off of the wagon every, year, every couple months is a trauma response or a terrible coping mechanism. So I have had to do a lot of work with my therapist to kind of get back to center and figure out how to overcome those patterns. But also, while healing that trauma, I gained 40 pounds back. 40. I had lost 40 pounds and then I gained all of it back because I didn't have the proper tools in my belt to pull out for when I resurfaced that trauma. I didn't have anything. The only thing I had was food. So that is what I turned to. For me, this is how trauma and unhealed trauma has been presenting itself in my life and keeping me from my goals. First off, the only coping mechanism that I truly have is binge eating. A self-sabotaging coping mechanism. Binge eating. I fill my emotions and the things I don't want to feel and the things I don't want to talk about, I fill that with food because it's much easier than actually dealing with the real problem and resurfacing a lot of pain and a lot of grief. So I shove it down with food. And a lot of people who have unhealed trauma do end up having disordered eating because that is what they feel in control of. That is the one control you have in your life, is what you put in your mouth. And a lot of people with unhealed trauma turn to that type of coping mechanisms. Now, there's plenty of other ones as well. This is just the one that affected me the absolute most. Just a few other things that have happened from, unhealed trauma: stress, anxiety, depression, PTSD. All of those things for me have been due to trauma. Anxiety, I don't know, I was an anxious little kid, so that one, it just might be more heightened, but I've always been an anxious little Nelly. So just think about how much those things affect your daily life. If you are always stressed, your cortisol is always spiked, which for me always spikes my insulin. And for somebody who was pre-diabetic and predisposed to type 2 diabetes, that is not a very good way to live. And I was also living a standard American lifestyle, so it's just all going to come to a head at some point. I think a lot of our problems is that we need to get to the deep down source of why we do what we do. All right, so there's the secret. Go heal your trauma. No, but it is such a privilege to be able to go to therapy. That is the route that I have chosen to work on my trauma and many other things in my life. But it is a huge privilege to be able to have a therapist. So there are plenty of things that you can do on your own. There are podcasts, there are books, YouTube channels, Instagram. Therapists are on Instagram educating. But just make sure that you have the right support system around you, because it can get pretty dark when you are, you know, exploring those areas that you haven't explored in a while. So just making sure you have a really good support system. I recommend therapy because it is such an individualized program and you truly get to build a relationship with somebody. My therapist is awesome. I got very lucky on the first try. I didn't even have to like shop for a therapist really. My son, I did have to shop for a therapist for him, but yeah, it's been amazing. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. I really hope that this video helped. It truly helped me when I realized that I needed to tackle that in order to get anything else done. So thank you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.